Hello and welcome to Dixie Storytime World. I'm proud to present this amazing book called The Fox in the Meadow, written by Luis Maldonado, and all the beautiful pictures in this book were done by Jannata. If you'd like to buy a copy of this book for your home library or for your classroom, the link is available in the description at the bottom of this video. It was a crisp, cool morning in the meadow. The sun was starting to shine. The grass and the trees were still covered with sparkling dew. In the heart of the forest there was this hiding hole of a little red fox. A beam of light breached the entrance and touched his face. The fox opened his sleepy eyes and gave a big stretch. This was no ordinary morning for the fox. He woke up in the most curious mood, wondering why he'd never seen another creature quite like him. He had always wanted to find another creature that looked like him and wanted to play with him. Today he was going to find a friend. He jumped out of his hiding hole and went to find his new friend. The fox explored the meadow. First he came across a red cardinal bird singing in the trees, and the fox wondered if this was another creature like himself. This cardinal was red like him, and he looked like he had one pointy ear on top of his head, sort of like him. The fox tried to give a chip like the cardinal to say hello, but it came out as a yip. The sound scared the cardinal, who started to fly away. The cardinal's wings let him fly high into the sky, much too high for the fox to see. The fox ran as fast as he could to keep up. The cardinal didn't want to be his friend, but that was all right. If the fox kept looking, he knew he'd find a creature like him he could be friends with. The fox continued padding through the meadow until he came to a river. There he saw a doe drinking water. The doe had two pointy ears like him and red fur. The fox thought this creature looked like him and he wanted to be her friend. He walked up to say hello, but as soon as the doe saw him, she got scared and ran into the river. The doe's long legs made it easy to run through the river. The fox tried to swim after her, but couldn't keep up. The doe got to the other bank of the river and disappeared into the bushes. The fox got out of the water and shook himself dry. The doe didn't want to be his friend either, but that was all right. If the fox kept looking, he knew he'd find a creature like him he could be friends with. The fox kept looking through the meadow until he found two little red squirrels digging up the seeds they had buried last fall. The fox thought these must be creatures like him. They had red fur like him, big bushy tails like him, and two pointy ears. Not only that, but the squirrels also liked to dig like him. Yes, the fox was certain that these squirrels were the same as him, and he ran up to play with them. But as soon as the squirrels saw the fox, they got scared and ran away. The squirrels had special feet that let them climb up their tree. The fox tried to follow them, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't climb after them. The squirrels didn't want to be the fox's friends either, and the fox grew very sad. None of the animals the fox met that day wanted to be his friend. They were all scared of him and ran away. Feeling alone, the fox kept treading through the meadow. He thought about how different he was from all the other animals he had met that day. He didn't have wings like the cardinal. He couldn't run through rivers like the doe, and he couldn't climb trees like the squirrels. But the fox didn't care about those things. He still would have been their friend if they wanted to play. But instead, they were all afraid of him. The fox traveled until he came to a small blue pond. He looked at his reflection. He wondered if he was the only red fox in the entire meadow. Thinking about that made the fox wish he found another creature like himself he could call his friend. Just then he heard a rustling in the bushes. Curious, the fox got up and followed the sound. He peeked through the bushes, and there, in a clearing, he saw another red fox. The fox was just like him, with red fur, a big bushy tail, and two pointy ears. The fox approached the other fox carefully. The other fox looked at him, and to his surprise, the other fox didn't run away. Instead, she wagged her tail and gave a friendly yip. The fox was overjoyed. He had finally found a creature like himself that he could be friends with. The two foxes played and explored the meadow together. They dug holes together, swam together, and played all day together. The fox realized that even though he was different from all the other animals, he wasn't alone, and from that day on, he knew that he would always have a friend by his side. The end. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Kids, always remember to be good, polite, and kind. And I'll see you soon in another adventure. Bye for now.